There are a variety of reasons why the US and China are not working together in space, not least of which is that China has one of the most opaque space programs out there. We do not know even some of the most basic things about China's space program. How much do they spend on space? Not how much they spend on individual space programs, the Long March 5 or the Lunar Exploration Program. Just broadly speaking, how much do they spend on space? We have no idea. We have no idea how much the military spends on space. Again, not down into individual project numbers, but just a broad sense of their space budget, their military space budget. If you wanted to do a flow chart of how an American weather satellite is built, you can put together which organizations have input at what point, both on budget issues, but also design issues. We have none of that about the Chinese. We know that the Chinese military plays a significant role. So any space cooperation, by definition, means cooperating with the Chinese military. But what we don't know, for example, is which agencies, which entities have input. And that's before we get into issues such as human rights. Are the organizations and entities that are part of China's space industrial complex using slave labor? Do we want to work with a slave labor force? So these aspects are central to limiting cooperation between the United States and the People's Republic of China. Now, one of the things that is a part of this is the Wolf Amendment, which prohibits NASA from spending any money to cooperate with China. But there are broader, more important aspects of policy, of intellectual property. Are people prepared to cooperate with the Chinese when we know that they don't pay much attention to intellectual property rights and intellectual property protection? And again, if we're going to cooperate with the Chinese military, are we comfortable letting them have access to our data, potentially our computer system?